Every year my family and I always go on a family vacation down south. Usually, we would always just rent a hotel and get it as a bundle without plane tickets, but this time around my daughter suggested that we should get an Airbnb. I thought it would be a great experience since this would be my family's first time renting an Airbnb. I went online and started looking. As I searched, I found a house that is super spacious and has enough rooms and bathroom for all of us. The price for a whole week was right in my budget too. I contacted the owner and payments were made. Fast forward to the day we arrived at the Airbnb. We met up with the owner at the location so she can hand over the keys to the house. As she was leaving, she said, "If you see or hear anything unusual, please let me know. Enjoy your time here." I thought it was odd for someone to say that, but I didn't think much of it. I was more excited about our vacation. Our first night there went fine. We made dinner and played a couple board games before heading to bed. The next day, we planned on sightseeing, so we left our dog at the Airbnb while we left to explore. That night when we came back, we couldn't find the dog anywhere. We called for his name, but he didn't respond or come running like he usually does. We all started to split up and search around the house for our dog. Finally, we found our dog under the kids' room under the bunk bed. He seemed scared and was sweeping. In all the years of raising this dog, this is the first time I've seen him like that. It was like he was afraid of something. We tried everything we could to get him out from under the bunk bed, but he refused, so we just let him be. That night, I was so tired since we were out and about all day. Instead of staying up with my family, headed to bed first. As I laid in bed half awake and half asleep, I saw this tall dark male slowly walking into the master bedroom that I was sleeping in. I can hear his boots on the wood floor coming closer and closer to the side of my bed. As bad as I want to yell and tell him to get out, I couldn't move or say a word. All I could do was stare, but my vision of the figure was so blurry, I couldn't really see his face or look for details. As he stood next to my bed, he slowly bent over and whispered, "Get out of my house." Before I knew it, I woke up and it was morning already. I just brushed it off as if it was just a bad dream, to what I thought. As the day started, my family decided they wanted to go shopping at the mall. We all got ready to leave the house. As I opened the door, our family dog rushed out the front door super quick. The dog wouldn't go back inside. No matter how much we tried dragging him, he just kept refusing. So we just tied him up in the backyard while we leave. That night around 2 a.m., I saw the same black figure again, walking towards me while I was half awake, half asleep. He again said the same thing.
"Get out of my house."
For some reason, I found the courage and strength to open up my mouth and say, "I paid for this place. I won't leave until my time here is done." The figure then again yelled back,
"Get out now."
I felt the whole room start to shake. Now that really did it for me. I was scared so badly, I woke up my husband and kids, and we all went and slept in the living room for the rest of the night. The next day, I called the owner and told them what I had experienced in their house and why we are going to leave, even though our 7 days rental wasn't up yet. They apologized and agreed to give us back half the rent. We drove out of that place as quick as we could and never looked back. I am a YouTuber. I make short films for my YouTube channel. As we all know, videographers always need to find a good setting for their films. Let me share with you my very first scary experience at an Airbnb. So, I rented this Airbnb located in a quiet wooded area. The house was huge with a big backyard with a pool. It was the perfect setting for my next short project. As we arrived at the place, the owner already gave me the pin to get inside the house. As we stood outside the front door, we were so mesmerized on how big and beautiful this house was. I was so excited to open the door to see how beautiful the inside must be. As I put in the pin, it didn't work. I kept trying again and again. I thought it was the owner playing a trick on me, or I did not put in the right pin. After many attempts, I got frustrated and decided to check the back to see if there was another entrance to the house. We all gathered our stuff and walked to the back to check for another door. And surely there was a back door. I turned the doorknob and it just opened. It was not even locked. As my crew and I walked inside, I got curious and went to the front door to see if the pin would work. I asked one of my crew members to stand on the inside of the door while I go outside the front door and try the pin again. To my surprise, it worked, and it only took one try. As we settled in, the house was huge. I had a heavy feel to it since it was so dark inside. Not a lot of natural light coming inside the house. Anyway, after settling in, we started shooting. Once we were done shooting the first scene, it was 11:45, so I told everyone to wrap up and get ready for bed so we can get up early for breakfast and shoot again. As everyone was clearing things up, we heard a loud bang coming from upstairs. It shook the whole house to where we all got kind of scared. So, I told 2 other guys and myself to go check what fell. As we walked upstairs to the second level, we heard footsteps creeping up behind us. We turned to see if the other crew members were following us, but there was no one. When we got to the second floor, we checked every room, and nothing seemed to have fallen over. So, we just assumed it must have been something in the attic, but we definitely weren't going to go up there. After we checked, and there was nothing, we all got ready for bed. Everyone went into their rooms, and I went into mine. That night, everyone slept well, and we all got up early to start shooting again. After breakfast, I gathered up everyone so we can start shooting. As we got to the setting, my cameraman said, "Have we seen his microphone? He left it right next to his camera last night." We all said nope, we didn't touch or see his microphone at all. We then started to look around for the mic, because without it there would be white noise in the video. We took the whole afternoon looking and turning the whole house upside down, but still didn't find the microphone. I started to get furious, because we only rented the Airbnb for 4 days only, and we are wasting time looking for this missing microphone. To continue shooting, I just went to the store and bought a new mic. We filmed all day long without no breaks since we waste the whole morning looking for the damn missing mic. As nightfall, we finished the short video, so I thanked all my crew members and told them that they can rest for the rest of the 2 days that we are there. That night, while everyone was fast asleep, I was still up editing the video together. The whole house was so silent, which I like since I need peace and quiet in order to edit. As I was in the master bedroom editing, I saw a black shadow go across the bottom of the bedroom door. The light in the hallway wasn't turned off too. Thought maybe someone got up to use the bathroom, so I just went back to editing. 2 minutes later, the same shadow again walked across my bedroom door again. I thought, okay, I got to go look to see who isn't sleeping, and keeps walking back and forth like that. I got up quick to see if I could catch who it was. Right when I opened the door and looked down the hall, there was no one. I went and checked all their rooms to see who was still up, and they all were asleep. It was weird as hell. After that, I just got into bed and will continue to edit tomorrow. The next morning came along, and as we all woke up to go eat breakfast, we heard a loud crash. We all ran to the source of the sound, and it was the equipment room. As we opened the door, all our equipments we smashed into pieces. We were all in shock of how this happened. We asked each other who did it. No one confessed because we all were in the kitchen together. Got me thinking, if no one did this, then was it the black shadow that I saw last night roaming the hallway? As I was still thinking, there was a loud smash coming from the kitchen. We all ran to go look, and our glass drinks all fell to the ground and broke into a million pieces. At this time, we all just looked at each other and knew that this house has to be haunted. We all were in the equipment room together, so the only other thing that can make those glass slide off the table and fall to the floor is a non-seeable force. I just looked at my crew members and told them we have to leave today to keep everyone safe. So we started packing everything that we brought and loaded it into the van. As we all started our vans, I turned around to look at the house. In the stairway window, I saw a dark lady in a black dress staring at us. As I blinked, the figure disappeared. That really spooked me to think that we stayed in a house that was haunted. My significant other and I are on the rage of getting a divorce. We just don't connect like we used to. We both have full-time jobs that keep us separated from each other all week long. I feel like we never get time for each other. That's why our relationship is on the line. We both agreed to take a week off and use that time to go somewhere and just relax and try to connect again and maybe save our marriage. So I started to look for a beautiful countryside Airbnb online. There weren't a lot of options when it comes to Airbnbs in the countryside, but I still didn't give up. I checked every day, until one day, came across a beautiful farmhouse in the countryside. Photos of the inside of the house were nice. It has a farm type of look to it. It was the perfect place to stay for a small getaway. That week, we packed all the things we would need for our mini vacation. We drove about 4 hours to our destination. We were very excited and couldn't wait to get there. We followed where the GPS on the car told us to go. When we arrived at our destination, the Airbnb, it was nothing like the photos that we saw online. We had to triple check the address of the Airbnb. The house was so run down. The lawn was so overgrown that it hasn't been cut in years. The house itself looked like no one has lived there for years. The windows and doors were all sealed up by wood boards. The scenery looks like it could have been in a horror movie. We shouldn't have done this, but we agreed to just get out the door and check it out. As we were walking up to the house, there was this foul smell that the wind carried towards us. It smelt like rotten flesh or like roadkill. This place just keeps getting weirder and weirder. We then started to walk towards the back just to check where that smell was coming from. As we walked, we heard a loud thump. It sounds like someone just kicked one of the wood boards covering the back door. We were so shocked, we raced back to the car. I can't tell you how scared and frightened we were. We drove off that property so fast that we didn't even put our seatbelts on. Never again will we ever look for an Airbnb in the countryside ever again. If you like listening to my scary stories, please go and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post new videos.